our Man Who for Teacher, a Song of Prayer, which we've been talk about death last week, and we're going to reread what part of what we read last week, um, and talk about death, which is, I mean, that sounds like, whoa, we're going to talk about death. but Jesus has a much different point of view about death than do you or I in general. I personally have. Uh, what the heck did I just do? Grabbed a pencil. I did not mean to do that. Uh,
Right.
so yes.
I just saw a YouTube short one with Terrace McKenna, you know,
Terrence McKenna. Yeah.
yeah, and he was talking about how DMT is so much like Jung, and yeah, he was talking of Course in Miracles, yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
He
definitely.
pretty much does anyway. That's
Mm.
what I hear from him a lot. So, but um, I have never tried that. That is that the a drug, that DMT?
It,
Uh,
yeah, it's a main component of ayahuasca.
oh, okay, okay, yeah, I've never tried that. So I always wanted to. I was gonna do it with Teddy, but uh, the guy that he was gonna get it from got arrested. So,
I did it, but nothing happened.
oh,
And
really?
yeah, we were at a yoga place in Brooklyn, and in the morning everyone was talking about it. And uh everyone said, no, this was nothing, And well, they prom I figured, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's okay. Yeah, I'm fine. I
Did
don't need another one.
yeah. So yeah, and yeah. Well, I always thought it was cool, but that because it seemed like it could reach into something in your mind that you haven't been able to reach before. But maybe I can't. Maybe I'm already reaching where I can reach, and
We
maybe
are. We are. Rafi has his hand up.
oh
I
yeah,
just want to say the stuff that Dove has been posting on Facebook, the videos are very simple, very uncomplicated, and very powerful. Really true, resonant truth. And I'm very grateful. Thank you, Dove. I watched a couple of them already, and it's uh, reaffirming what we already know in simpler and much more direct ways. Thank you.
Dub, is it the same stuff as you post on TikTok?
Yeah, one of them was, in fact, but it was moved over to Facebook.
Yes, yes. I started on TikTok. Excuse me. I started on TikTok and sent them to Facebook.
Okay, okay, yeah, because I watch them on TikTok all the time. So
What Facebook? It's not ACIM Gather, not the public.
Uh, uh, I have a new name called ACIM Family,
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
but I should put them on Gather as well. I mean, it's
yeah,
on. Actually, Dakini puts them on for me. Believe it or not, I don't put them on,
yeah.
and she puts them on ACIM Family.
Gotta check that out. Because I go and gather, I'm not on the computer that much except to write and to check email and to check Facebook and but that's part of it, checking Facebook.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cool when I'm scrolling through TikTok and here comes my friend Dove. I see his face. I'm like, oh, there he is. And then I listen to whatever profound snippet you were saying there, and it's beautiful. And I see that people are reacting, and so I like that too. So yeah, so let's take a look here. We read this last week, but I'm just going to read this paragraph and we'll move on to paragraph 4. Um, so paragraph 3, this is the Song of Prayer, the healing, and this is the third part of the Song of Prayer. and it's false versus true healing. We call it death, but it is liberty. It does not come in forms that seem to be thrust down in pain upon unwilling flesh, but as gentle welcome to release. If there has been true healing, this can be the form in which death comes when it's time to rest a while from labor gladly done and gladly ended. Now we go in peace to freer air and gentler climate, where it is not hard to see the gifts we gave were saved for us. For Christ is clearer now, his vision more sustained in us, his voice, the word of God, more certainly our own. So I love this whole picture of death as being just going into this place where we're in peace and in freer air, a gentler climate. We can see the gifts that God is, the gifts that we gave. The gifts that the love that we gave is there for us, and it's something that we can experience. For Christ is clearer now, his vision more sustained in us, his voice, the word of God, more certainly our own. So really, this is what happens when this is after death. uh, this is what makes me know that we do go on in after death, because we come to a place where Christ is clearer, his vision is more sustained in us. We know the word of God is within us. It's a passage into a realm where it's sweet, where it's love. I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts about this? And any true stories of being dead?
I'd like to speak, please.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Did you put your hand up and I didn't see it?
well, it's there now. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Lester Levinson used to say that death was just another mental concept. And of course, that's all it is. The only thing that can die is an ego concept, because we don't exist as we seem. What we're looking at is illusion. What we're looking at is projected thought images that have no substance. But we look at it and say, oh well, this body's real and it's going to die. And that's why he said one of the most effective forms of releasing was to get a hold of the fear of dying and let that go. Because when he became self-realized or free or whatever you want to call it, he said a lot of people don't want to become that way because they think they're their body and they're going to die. Well, he kept his body for another 40 years after he so-called died, and because he needed it to communicate the program and well, Jesus did the same thing, and so did a few others. But it's so obvious that, and I repeat it to myself all the time, I was never born, I don't exist, and so I can't die. And the only thing that dies is the picture of a body, and it's just an image. And so what if the image goes away? We're eternal, have always been, are now, will forever be. So it becomes a question of how serious do you want to take this death thing? And if you look at it, it's just another image, uh, just another program, just another belief, and none of which are true or what we are. It makes the dissolution of the ego easier, and that's the best death you can have.
Thank you. Yes, I love that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And fear of death, what was Jesus, what you said, Lester says about death. That's actually let me go and take a look at this real quick in the text in let me let me think where it is. The obstacles to peace, chapter 19. What am I thinking? Uh, I just completely, my mind went blank. Probably because I'm showing off. All right. Uh, the uh, the attraction of death is what Jesus calls it. And it's because he calls it attraction because we are obsessed with it. It's an actual obsession of ours. And so um, to you and your brother in whose special relationship the Holy Spirit entered, it is given to release and be released from the dedication to death. That's what it is. We're dedicated to death. And we're dedicated to death in all forms. We fight death and we worry about death and we talk about death and we cry about death and we look forward to death and we put death in just all kinds of ways. So this whole idea of uh, why are we still afraid of death? Because we are attracted to it. We look everywhere we look, we see it, and it becomes an absolutely um our religion. Death is our religion. um so is it the will of God? Oh, okay, let me go back here. um where he says well, a shadow cannot kill. Walk past it and it's gone. Touch any, let's see. But what of those dedication whose dedication is not to live? The black draped sinners, the ego's mournful chorus, plodding so heavily away from life, dragging their chains and marching in the slow procession that honors their grim master, Lord of Death. Who's he talking about? He's talking about the people of the world, the people of the world that are dedicated to running away from death, preventing death. I mean, death is an obsession, like I said. So that's everybody. Everybody is in that situation until they overcome this fear of death that you're talking about. Well, until we come to recognize that and touch any one of them with the gentle hands of forgiveness and watch the chains fall away along with yours. See him throw aside the black robe he was wearing to his funeral and hear him laugh at death. The sentence sin would lay upon him, he can escape through your forgiveness. This is no arrogance, it is the will of God. This is no arrogance, it is the will of God. What is impossible to you who chose his will as yours? What is death to you? Your dedication is not to death nor to its master. When you accepted the Holy Spirit's purpose in place of the ego's, you renounced death, exchanging it for life. We know that an idea leaves not its source, and death is the result of the thought we call ego, as surely as life is the result of the thought of God. That's it. The ultimate result of siding with the ego and being listening to the ego, living through the ego, is death. Ultimately, it's the only thing that we can have. Mickey, please go ahead, and then Rafi, did you want to talk again? I'd be glad to hear it. Go ahead, Mickey.
Rafi, did you have something you wanted to add to what you said before, or should I?
Oh, no, you go ahead. I can wait.
Okay. So, we're all fascinated by near-death experiences and psychic mediums who talk to us about what heaven is, and that's, we've built into our society this attraction to death because we think we're going to heaven. And that heaven is this place where all of our pain's going to be taken away and everything, and it says right there in the course, heaven, pardon me, heaven is here, there is no other place. Heaven is now, there is no other time. We think we have to wait until the body dies to experience peace and happiness and relief of some sort. And what, you know, we're all wrapped up in this. I got to let go of the body before I can experience some sort of peaceful ending. And it's become like a cult in our society that we need to get rid of the body before anything good can happen to us. We have to earn our just rewards and all of this, and it's, oh my God, the body has nothing to do with it. It's, you know, it's craziness. So I just wanted to bring that up because I know I fall for it every once in a while. Every once in a while, I hear some near-death experiencer talking about what a beautiful, place they went to. And I'm like, oh God, that sounds so much better than right now. But we have to realize that we're not going anywhere. We're not, and we don't have to wait for that. We can experience that now. And it's just a shift of perception and perspective. And yeah, I talk a good talk.
Uh,
But I really think if I say it enough, if I say it strongly enough, I'm gonna be there right now. So thanks.
well, and we are there right now as far as we can see. So, it's a matter of, just being able to see that that's where we are. And I think it's interesting. I'll let Rafi go ahead. Go ahead, please, Rafi.
Well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with reiterating the truth of our infinite beingness. I mean, otherwise, the mind comes in and gives you all kinds of rationalizations and excuses and justifications and reasons and stuff. You don't listen to any of that stuff. But Lester also used to say, with the fear of death, the flip side, the ego flip side of that is the want to die, especially if your life is got, is hellish and you want to get away from all this. Like she just said, oh, if I die, then I'll go to heaven and then I won't have it. So there's the flip side of I want to live, and the other side is I want to die. And Lester said, when you go free and you are this omniscient, omnipotence, omnipresence that we really are, he said, there is no such thing as can't or not able. He said, if you wanted to, you could keep the body and create 7 or 8 more of them just like it and put them all over the world in a stream. You could do that if you want, or put them on other planets. You could do all of that. I mean, if that's what you feel like, if you felt like doing, because there's no such thing as limitations. And the limitation is I'm a body, and I'm gonna get old and sick and dying. Drives everybody crazy. I mean, I went through 2 or 3 days before my birthday yesterday. I said, "Oh, you're turning 86, closer and closer to dying, old, decrepit, death." Yes. Well, I just kept bringing that stuff up and bringing it up and bringing it up and letting it go, wanting security, survival, wanting survival, wanting survival. I just kept letting it go and letting it go and letting it go. And I got to the point where there was just so much peace. There was so much pure joy of being. I was giddy. And so it was obvious it's just another feeling. It's what we call our deepest feeling, but feelings are feelings. They're just energy. And they came up to leave. So is the fear of dying, just another energy. Well, I mean, you say going to heaven. This is heaven. It's right here, right now, has forever been, is now, will forever be. That's what we are. The dream looks like something else, but even the dream is in heaven, and it's here to teach us what we need to know to wake up to the truth that we are in heaven. So, I mean, it could be more perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, how could anything be better than this? How could anything be better than this? And Brooklyn, please go ahead.
So beautifully said. Thank you. Namaste, mighty companions, by the way. I have a poem that I wrote recently. I call when I feel heaven is I call it the holy instant, and yeah. So here goes. Amazed as now is all of love, question of right not required. Here not the streets of second home, but memories filtered past the scary. Echoes repeat, gifts in now, as vision knows where to look. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. You were going to read that one of those to us the other day, and we just didn't ran out of time, I guess. So thank you for reading that to us now. It's beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Always, always. I know, I had my best friend, used to call me all the time. He called and played the piano and I'd sing with him. He was amazing. I knew all the words, but I'm a poet. And then I says, let me read you my poem. And he'd listen, He says, I guess that, must be good. I can't understand it. And
It must be good. I can't understand. Oh, that's hilarious.
But we speak the same language.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, sweetie. Mickey, please go ahead.
So, if you will indulge me for a moment, I thought maybe I'd read the paragraph that line came from that I quoted before.
Sure.
And it's from the Manual for Teachers. This is the clarification of terms, isn't it, that we're in here? Anyway, it's number 24 is reincarnation. So we're deep in it here now. And it says the emphasis of this course always remains the same. It is at this moment that complete salvation is offered you, and it is at this moment that you can accept it. This is still your one responsibility. Atonement might be equated with a total escape from the past and total lack of interest in the future. And there's your pal, Brooklyn. Be here now. Right? Ram Dass. A total escape from the past and a total lack of interest in the future. Heaven is here. There is nowhere else. Heaven is now. There is no other time. And there's a whole bunch of Dove's favorite 3 and 4 word sentences right in a row, in a big clump there. No teaching that does not lead to this is of concern to God's teachers. All beliefs will point to this if properly interpreted. In this sense, it can be said that their truth lies in their usefulness. All beliefs that lead to progress should be honored. This is the sole criterion this course requires. No more than this is necessary. And there's one of my favorite paragraphs in this whole book. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Yeah, that's beautiful. And yeah, so many great sayings in that one paragraph. It's amazing. So yes. Anybody else have any comments here before we move on? I just want to go around and acknowledge everyone. Brooklyn, Dove, Elizabeth, good to see you. Mickey, Rafi, Regis, and Rico. Good to have you all here. All right.
Got her hand up.
Hi. Me. Hi.
Oh, okay, you.
Thanks for asking. I just wanted to say, from the other side, I know, it's terrible. The grief, I tell people never underestimate the extent of this world's insanity, Yeah, I just keep telling myself that too. But anyway, she lost her son. And, I wrote this poem to her. And I says, let it, I don't remember the whole thing, but let him love you as he can now. You know, don't expect it's a different love. And it's not a different love, it's a different form of love. Let him love you as he can now. Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful, Brooklyn. Thank you.
I was sharing, I shared before about my best friend, how for 10 years we, you know, we were boyfriend, girlfriend, and then after that, you know, for about 10 more years we were best friends, and then we became like family. And so see, our relationship changed from one to that. And then when he died, well, he left his body and it blew me away. He was still here.
Yeah.
It changed form. That was the third time it changed form. But it was still the love, still the love. It still is. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Brooklyn.
We're grateful.
Thank you,
All right.
Brooklyn. I like that. One day we need to hear that poem because I was thinking of it in reverse when I lost my mom. I love her now in another kind of way. Although she's not here in Earth School, I still, there are moments where I have intimacy with her emotionally and spiritually. So that works for me in reverse order, that poem. Thank you.
Same is true with me, with my wife, who I just lost last year, and my son before her, and all those. And I realized they didn't get anywhere. They didn't go anywhere. Where can you go? They're still here. I still talk to them every day. Why not? Just because they left the body image, that doesn't mean that they went, and you can't go anywhere. And when the grief comes up, I welcome the grief, because the grief is an indication of how much love there is. The equation is obvious. If you don't feel grief, then there wasn't any love. So welcome the grief. Yay! First of all, it's another feeling that came up to leave. Thank you. And the other one is that it's equal, if and not the love, maybe even more than the grief that you're feeling. So now you're back in the love again, and love is the truth.
Yeah. Thank you, Robbie. Yeah. Go
Thank you,
ahead.
Rafi. Yeah.
Look at that gift.
Yeah. And that's when we were listening to before we started, we were listening to Vicky, James Wyman, and Vicky was talking about the longing. They were talking about longing. We're longing for love, longing for God. Um, and that longing, she realized, is actually grief. It's grief that we're missing. We've lost a connection, and so that's why we do go through life longing for God, longing for love, longing for peace, longing for joy, when in actuality that's what is longing is what we're longing for. What is longing is what we're longing for. And so, when she was talking about that, crying and crying, and I was realizing, yeah, that this is what happens. The the body, the mind, uh, thinks that it's lost something or it's losing something, and you will cry. You will cry. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So, um, paragraph 4. Anybody want to read this?
I'll read it.
Thank you, sweetie.
This gentle passage to a higher prayer, a kind of forgiveness of the ways of earth, can only be received with thankfulness. Yeah, got to be in it to win it. Yet first, true healing must have come to bless the mind with loving pardon for the sins. If it dreamed about and laid upon the sins would, let me read that over. Yet Earth's true healing must come to bless the mind with loving pardon for the sins it dreams about and laid upon the world. Now are its dreams dispelled to quiet rest. Now is forgiveness. Now is forgiveness comes to heal the world, and it is ready to depart in peace. The journey over and the lessons learned. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it doesn't have to be after the body's gone. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what we're longing for. That's
Yeah.
what we can have. And Dove said it sounds like one of your problems. It does.
Oh, I love us so much.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Forgiveness and gratitude, you know. Yeah, don't let any doubt tell you to doubt it. any form of, oh, I renamed my ego. I call it curmudgeons. I call them curmudgeons.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my goodness. I love it. Does anybody have any comments on paragraph 4? Thank you, Brooklyn, so much. Yeah, it just
If I may,
yes, go ahead, Rafi.
I'd just like to discuss for a second longing. Because longing is another way of saying wanting, and wanting is another way of saying lack. So if you're coming from lack, you're holding on to lack. Whatever you hold on to, that's what happens. That's why nothing in this dream world can satisfy you. If you have $1 million, your mind is telling you 1,000,000 ain't enough. I need 1.5 million. I still want more. I want more. I want, because that's how ego functions. So if in the 6 steps of the release technique, the first step is I must want freedom more than I want approval, more than I want control, more than I want safety, security, survival, which is another way of saying more than I want anything in this world. And so, and a lot of the masters say you gotta want it more than anything, more than breath itself. But it's still coming from the feeling that you lack it.
Yep.
And there's a little danger there. I mean, yes, that focuses you on your purpose totally. But if we get to the point where you can remove the lack and understand that you are that, have always been that, and can't be anything else, then you moved up a step. And that moving up a step is maybe a little step personally, but it's a huge step spiritually. Because Robert Adams emphasizes it, and a couple of the other masters said it too. If you just focus on the truth of the infinite self, and only that, you'll eventually see that that's all there is, that is the reality. But the other steps can be very helpful. In releasing one of the 3 wants, for instance, what you're doing is quieting the mind. You're using the ego to get rid of the ego. You're using a thorn to get rid of a smaller thorn, and a big thorn to get rid of a smaller thorn, and a smaller thorn, until you get rid of all the thorns, then you throw the thorn away. That's the final want. So all of the steps are very effective as long as you see them as steps to something that you have always been on now and can always forever be. It's a fascinating thing, but the more I simplify it, the more powerful it becomes.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. Exactly. And that's what, this is what Jesus is talking about here. We just have to, the longing, the idea that I want God more than anything else says, I don't think I have God. I want to feel loved. Me says I don't feel loved. So yeah, that letting go and letting go and letting go of all the reasons that I think that, the stories that I've told myself, or the stories the world has told me that keep me from seeing. And I think that's what he says. Yet first true healing must have come to bless the mind with loving pardon for the sins it dreamed about and laid upon the world. Now its dreams are dispelled in quiet rest. Now its forgiveness comes to heal the world, and it is ready to depart in peace. The journey over and the lessons learned. It comes from when we have lovingly pardoned everything that we thought went wrong, everything that we thought was uh, caused us to believe that we were in lack. You know, when we forgive it, we find the truth about what we are. So let's look at paragraph 5. Who would like to read paragraph 5?
I'll take it.
Okay, thank you.
This is not death according to the world, for death is cruel in its frightened eyes and takes the form of punishment for sin. Or does that sound egoic? Ooh. How could it be a blessing then? And how could it be welcome when it must be feared? What healing has occurred is such a view of what is merely opening the gate to higher prayer and kindly justice done. Death is reward and not a punishment. But such a viewpoint must be fostered by the healing that the world cannot conceive. There is no partial healing. What but shifts illusions has done nothing. What is false cannot be partly true. If you are healed, your healing is complete. Forgiveness is the only gift you give and would receive. Well, it's almost like quoting something I read in Robert Adams just the other day. He said, "You're not partly free. You're not almost free." And he said, "You're either there or you're not." It's as simple as that. And no matter how close you get, if you're not there, you think you're not there, you're not there yet. And as long as the thinking is in the way, you're not there yet. Even though we are, that can't be anything else in reality.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. Dove wanted me to share something else that he posted here. So let me go find it. And he says, this is exactly what you were just saying. The sole responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept the atonement for himself. This means you recognize that mind is the only creative level and that its errors are healed by the atonement. Once you accept this, your mind can only heal. By denying your mind any destructive potential and reinstating its purely constructive powers, you place yourself in a position to undo the level confusion of others. The message you then give to them is the truth that their minds are similarly constructive and their miscreations cannot hurt them. By affirming this, you release the mind from over-evaluating its own learning device and restore the mind to its true position as the learner. That's from text chapter 4, 2, section 5. So yeah, by denying your mind any destructive potential and reinstating its purely constructive powers, you place yourself in a position to undo the level confusion of others, which is once you are no longer evaluating yourself through level confusion, then you can help other people to not be in level confusion either. And level confusion is one of the most compelling things that keeps us in the dark. is this, idea that I could maybe do something here in the world that's going to change or fix things, when in reality, this is the effect of a cause that's outside of time and space. So you can't go to the effect and undo the cause. You have to go to the cause before you can undo the problem. So that's why accepting the atonement for yourself, you recognize that the mind is the only creative level. Uh, and once you can accept that, your mind can only heal. I love that. Anybody else have any thoughts before I go back to our reading? Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, I just want to say that you really share that perfectly and beautifully, even greater than what the actual paragraphs are saying. I mean, thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for listening. Rafi, yeah, please go ahead.
Actually, Brooklyn's hand was up before me.
Oh, okay, all right. Brooklyn, please go
You
ahead.
go first, Rafi. That's okay.
Okay, I just wanted to say that the one thing that I keep being reminded of is that everything I see out there, these projected thought images we call the world, is egoless. Everything is serving. So the dream, no matter how it looks, is serving. That's why it's called, a school, and it has lessons for us to learn. Everything we see is here. It's uncaused. It's been predetermined for our benefit, okay, in our best interest. And no matter how horrific it seems, there's a lesson in it for us to learn. So it's egoless, because only the ego would cause things that is selfish or coming from a victim point of view. And that lesson is very, very powerful for me, because then everything I look at is sacred. Everything I look at is the Christ consciousness. Everything I look at is divine love. It's no longer too many cars on the street, or can't find a parking space at Trader Joe's, or how am I going to pay this bill, or whatever comes up for people. It's that kind of constant reaffirming that everything here is working for me, makes all the difference.
Absolutely. That is what makes all the difference. It's the only thing that can make a difference. So thank you, Rafi. Brooklyn, please go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to say I love Regis's living room. So cute. Yeah, the curmudgeons I have, well, the way Holy Spirit uses them is to get me to write. When I'm feeling very uncomfortable, and Holy Spirit help me see this another way. And so I have another one. And I call this observe. Gratitude's freedom outweighs despair in flow together of love that deepens. Gratitude stays as despair has its say. It need not disrupt, but is with compassion. It is a love beyond a fear, in surrender of dreams, embraced in grace. It rests of trust. This is real. Thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
now you're in your living room, Regis. I love it.
It's very cute. I love it. All right. Uh, let's see. Did we want to read paragraph 5? We have time. Or did we read it? Oh,
I don't think we read 5.
we haven't read 5. Who'd like to read paragraph 5?
I'll join the band.
Thank you, sir.
I have Rico on vocals. Paragraph 5. This is not death according to the world, for death is cruel in its frightened eyes and takes the form of punishment for sin. How could it be a blessing then? And how could it be welcome when it must be feared? What healing has occurred in such a view of what is merely opening the gate to higher prayer and kindly justice done? Death is reward and not punishment. But such a viewpoint must be fostered by the healing that the world cannot conceive. There is no partial healing. What but shifts illusions has done nothing. What is false cannot be partly true. If you are healed, your healing is complete. Forgiveness is the only gift you give and would receive. That's Ralphie just said something like that. You're either pregnant or you're not. You can't be half in and half out. So that makes a lot of sense. I like the way they word this thing around death. Death according to the world is for death is cruel in its frightened eyes and takes the form of punishment for sin. Well, you guys have taught me that there is no sin. So this is definitely an illusion's view of death. For many that I know, this is not up here, death is freedom, but it's free from the illusion. And I'd like to wake up before I die, or what the world calls death, because I think that's where the freedom is for me. Gate to high bread, kindly justice done. Yeah, death is reward. Okay, I'll listen now. That was my take on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rico. And yeah, it is a pretty amazing thing because what the world says about death and what the Course of Miracles says about death and what Jesus says about death are way different. So yeah, Brooklyn, please go ahead.
I love it. I love it. Death is the death of the ego. That's what the death is all about. You know, I was officiating a funeral many years ago for my friend's mom, and she was standing right there watching the whole thing. I didn't even know if it was, I didn't know if it was, she knew it was her funeral or not, but she was there watching the whole thing. And yeah, that is something to be said about that. I didn't talk much about it, but I told her about it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just here. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And when those who seem to have passed are really still right here, then you can talk to them anytime, and the barriers that once were between you are completely gone. Then you know that death is nothing, not real at all. I've been asking Calico to come visit me. I would just love to see her. Teddy, I've seen Teddy since he passed and talked to him, and God, I could just still hear him laughing. He's that whole thing. So yeah, the character, the person that we knew is still the person that we know. And because they've gone on doesn't mean that they no longer exist. They just don't exist in the same form. Uh, so the healing that needs to come about is the healing of knowing that uh, death has no power, has no power, no reality. Rafi, please go ahead.
Two incidences proving what you just said. And a Sunday ago, past Sunday, when we do nothing on Sunday, and that guy, that doctor, I guess he was, who went into the astral zone, brought back that woman who died so she could come back into her body and say goodbye to her family. And then she hung around for 3 more days after she died, and then she left. And then it was my mother. At my mother's funeral in Florida, the priest is, and there's a large congregation in this very large church, and he's talking about my mother, and he said something very specific about her, and the entire church building shook, boom, 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 like it was an earthquake. Although there are no earthquakes in Florida. The entire thing, and he just looked up and he said, "Yes, Grace, we know you're here." That's my mother, my mom's saying, "We know you're here, and thank you for reminding us." And it was as simple as that. But death is an illusion. You better believe it.
Question. Lynn, ACIM says there is no death. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. I'll make sure I'm on the right track.
Yeah, yeah. The body, we leave the body, we no longer need the body. The body is, basically becomes something that is no longer necessary for us, and we can leave it, and be free. But as long as we have a body, we're experience ourselves in a body, then we can use it to communicate, and we can communicate even after we're dead, because lots of people have communication from people who seem to have died. And I am not going to disagree with any of it. Personal experiences aside, uh, as I have not had a near-death experience, but I absolutely believe that I've known enough people who have to know that they're not lying. They're not making up stories. This really happened. And, when you hear about it, you recognize, just like Rafi was talking about Dr. Rod being able to go and find that woman and bring her and get her 3 extra days so that she could say goodbye to her family. Brooklyn, yeah, please go ahead.
Today is my mother's birthday. She would have been 125. I don't think she would have been very happy if she stayed in her body. And I remember when she passed, she was with gray hair and in the wheelchair. And I was at John Monday, the conference he was giving, and that's when I found out. And he held hands and wished my mother a good trip. And as I was going to her home, I was picturing her like with her dark hair dancing. I did say to her, when you go, let me know you're okay. And she was dancing. And yeah, that was something. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Let's just read this last paragraph and
Lynn, Dove has his hand up.
oh, he does. I see that. Go ahead, Dub.
With regard to what Rico asked, there is a lesson 163. I put it in the chat. There is no death. That's the name of the lesson. The Son of God is free. I mean, there is an ego death. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, which comes from Tibetan Buddhism, says if you die before you die, then you don't die when you die. And of course, they're talking about the ego death. If you can free yourself of the ego, there is no death. Of course, you just lay down the body. Now, the Course goes further than that. In lesson 152, or is it 153? It says no one dies without their own consent. So that's like a fact. It's only by your consent as the Son of God that you say goodbye to this world of make believe. It's time. I've learned my lessons. I'm saying goodbye. Bye. So the Son of God is always free to stay or not stay. Now, of course, if you're thinking about it, don't take this personally. Like Dove, who's talking about it, is the ego. The body is the ego. The Son of God is the light. It's the peace. It's the love. That it really knows nothing about this world of make believe. When he says that there is no world, which he does say in lesson 132 coming up on Monday, it's my birthday lesson. There is no world. He said this is the one idea behind this course. As Rafi said earlier, whatever we see in this world is really the ego making things up. The ego loves to make things up. That's why lesson number 1 said nothing I see means anything. Why do you think Jesus says that? Because nothing you see with your body's eyes means anything. And then he goes on to say, well, in lesson 2, just in case you think it means something, just in case you think that a rainy day means something, just remember, you're the one who gave all the meaning to rainy days. That's all. The entire world is like a paper mache movie studio where you send in props and you send in actors and actresses. None of it means anything. When the movie is over, you go home.
Thank you, Dub. I love
Thank you,
that.
Dove. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Beautiful.
And we're all together in that home. There's not, there's no, that's why, the idea of lack and longing, it's silly because we're already all together. There's nothing that we lack. There's no one that we're missing. There's nothing that we're missing. So, that's the gift of truth and reality, is that nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened or could happen. None of these things that we're concerned about could actually happen, because that would not be God to make a world where things were so faulty, imperfect. It just don't happen. All right. I guess anybody else have anything they'd like to share? We're at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I just want to say that is what the atonement is.
Yes.
The atonement says nothing ever happened. I never left home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I had a dream, and I'm the dreamer of the dream. Now, if you think that you're not the dreamer of the dream, you really can't wake up until you realize that I am cause. The secret of salvation is I am doing this to myself. That's the joke. That's the cosmic joke. I came here to learn to free myself of the belief in fear. Fear is the ego. Ego is the god of fear. And what he's afraid of is love. The ego is afraid of love, because love, and this I got from Mickey today, and if you can find that section where the only reason the ego it lives in fear is that it knows that love would destroy it. It would be self-destruction. I mean, fear and love cannot coexist. That's oil and water. One is real, one is not. The fear is not real. The love is real. But the fear is made up. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Something outside of me can hurt me, so I have to defend myself. If I defend myself, I'm attacking myself. It gets back to like an autoimmune disease where we're always attacking ourselves out of guilt, out of the belief in guilt that I did something wrong. And guilt must be punished. So I keep punishing myself. You gotta laugh. That's it. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. All right, you guys, I love you all so much. Uh,
Thanks, Dove.
see you all in the morning.
Big hugs. Love
Karen
us.
and Mickey. Yeah.
Dove, that it's page 223 in the FIP in chapter 12, section 4, paragraph 2.
1243.
Two.
1242.
1242.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys, I love you all.
Thank you, Mickey. Love you.